Alright, testing. Alright, we're recording. Alright, subpart Chapter A, Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration's Part 325, Complaint with the Interstate with the Motor Carrier Noise Emission Standards, Subpart A, General Provision 325.1, Scope of the Rules within Parts 325.3, Effective Date 325.5, Definition 325.7, Allowable Noise Level 325.9, Measurement Tolerance, Subpart B, Administrative Precision 325.11, and Issuance Amendment, the Revocation of any of the rules in Part 325.13, Inspection Examination Motor Vehicles, Subpart C, Instrumentation 325.21, Scope of the Rules, and Subpart 325.23 with the type of the measurement system, which would maybe UV 325.25, calibration measurement systems 325.27, and UV the windscreen. Subpart D, measurement of the noise emission highway operation 325.31, scope of the rules, and subpart 325.33, site character for the highway operation 325.35, ambient conditions highway operation 325.37, location operation sound level of the measurement system highway operation 325.39, measurement procedure for the highway operation. Subpart E, the measurement of the noise of the emission stationary test 325.51, scope of the rules, and subpart 325.53, site character stationary test 325.55, ambient conditions stationary test 325.57, location operation sound level measuring system stationary test 325.59, measurement procedure for the stationary test. Subpart F, correction factors 325.71, scope of the rules, and subpart 325.73, microphone distance correction factors 325.75, ground surface correction factor 325.77, the computation on open site requirements and non-standard sites 325.79, application for the correction factors. Subpart G, exhaust systems and tires 325.91, exhaust system 325.93, tires. Subpart A, general provision 325.1, scope of the rules and the scope of the rules on the part prescribed the procedure, the inspection, surveillance, and the measurement. Motor vehicle equipment operated with the motor carrier to determine whether the vehicles of the equipment that conform with the Interstate Commerce Carrier Noise Emission Standard of the Environmental Protection Agency with the Title 49 CFR Part 202. Except to provide with the paragraph the section rules of the part applied with the motor carriers engaged with the interstate with commerce with the rules apply with any type of the under the condition of the highway grade load, acceleration, and the deceleration rule in this part do not apply with a motor vehicle with a gross vehicle weight rating of 10,000 pounds or less. The combination motor vehicles that have the gross combination weight rating of 10,000 pounds or less, the sounds generated with a warning device such as a horn siren installed with the motor vehicles unless the device is initially sounded in order to preclude otherwise valid noise emission measurement. Emergency motor vehicles such as the fire engine, ambulance, a police van, with the rescue van, whenever the response to the emergency school, snow plow in operation, sound generated with auxiliary equipment of the normally operated with a motor vehicle on which the installed with the stop operating with a speed of 5 miles per hour, or unless such device is initially operated with a speed greater than 5 miles per hour in order to preclude and otherwise valid noise measurement. Examples of the type of auxiliary equipment include but are not limited to the cranes, asphalt spreader with the ditch diggers and liquid and slurry pumps, auxiliary air compressors, welders, and trash compactors. 325.3, effective date. The rules are effective on October 5th, 1975. The definition 325.5 of the definition, statutory definition. All of the defined with the Noise Control Act of 1972 are used to the day of the defined in this act. The definition of the standards all determined in 202.10 of the Interstate Motor Carrier Noise Emission Standard of the Title 40 CFR 202.10 are used if they are defined in this section. Additional definitions: hard test site means that test any of the test site with a heaving of the ground surface covered with the concrete, asphalt, packed dirt, gravel, similar reflective material for more than one half of the distance between the microphone and the target point with the microphone location. Your soft test type means for the test site with the half of the ground surface covered with the grass or the ground covered with similar with absorbable material the one half or more of the distance between the microphone and the target point and the microphone location point. 3. Ground cover to mean with any various low density growing plant such as ivy, myrtle, low weeds, and brush. 4. Traffical railing means any with a longitudinal traffic barrier system installed on any side of the median of the highway. For the purpose of this part of the traffic railing must have at least 35% of the vertical height from the ground surface of the top of the rail opening with a free space in order to qualify as an acceptable object within the noise measurement of the test site. For the further purpose of this part, post and the other discrete support shall be ignored and certain the open free space relatively flat. When you think describe the noise measurement of the site means a site which does not contain significant concave curvature slope of the reference reveals that measure may result with the focusing of the sound wave toward the microphone location point. Alright, 325.7, allowable noise level. The motor vehicle with the noise emission with the measured accord with the rules of the part shall not exceed the value specified in the table 1. 325.9, measurement of tolerance. For the measurement of the tolerance will be allowed to make within account with the efficiency of the effect of the following factor with the consent of the standard practice of the reporting file sound level of the measurements with the nearest whole decibel, the variation resulting from the commercial instrumental tolerance, variation resulting with the topographically noise measurement, the variation resulting with the atmospheric conditions such as the wind and ambient temperature and atmospheric pressure, variation resulting with the reflected sound from the small object with allowed with the test site with the interpretation of the facts of the above the side of the factors enforcement with the personnel measurement with the tolerance shall not be exceeded 52 decibels given the measurement. In the subpart B, administrative provisions 325.11, the issuance amendment, the revocation of the rules, and in this part of the procedure specified in 389 of the chapter for the issuance amendment, the revocation of federal motor carrier safety regulations apply with the rulemaking procedure for the issuance amendment, the revocation of the rules in this part. 325 of the inspection examination of motor vehicles, any special agent of the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, Appendix B, with the subchapter of this chapter is authorized to examine the end of the test motor vehicle, but they operate the motor carrier within accordance with the procedure specified in the part for the purpose of the exertion with the from whether the motor vehicle and the equipment is installed with the motor vehicle conform to the Interstate Motor Carrier Noise Administration Standard with the Environmental Protection Agency, Title 40 CFR Part 202 for the motor carrier with the its officer with the driver, the agent, for the employees must have at any time submit for the motor vehicle, you for the operator with the inspection of the examination for the testing for the purpose of exertion wherever the motor vehicle with the equipment is installed with the conforms Interstate Motor Carrier Noise Emission Standard with the Environmental Protection Agency, Title 40 CFR Part 202. Prescribed inspection report form MCS 141 noise level to comply with the shall be with the record fine with the motor vehicle selected for the noise emission inspection authorized employees. Motor carrier disposition form MCS 141. The driver of any of the part of the vehicle with the form of the form MCS 141 shall deliver the MCS 141 motor carrier operating vehicle with his or her with the arrival at the next terminal facility of the motor carrier with the such for the arrival of the curves within 24 hours. If the driver does not arrive at the terminal with the facility of the motor carrier operating of the vehicle is within 24 hours, he or she is immediately with the mail of the form MCS 141 to the motor carrier with the operating of the convenience of the motor carrier designated in the shop terminal facility the person to which instruction drivers for the delivery of the forward form MCS 141 shall within sold the responsibility motor carrier with the form MCS 141 returned to the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration in accordance with the terms described thereon in paragraph D2 and 3 with the section driver or him or herself with the motor carrier shall return the MCS 141 to the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration in accordance with the terms prescribed thereupon in paragraphs D2 and 3 of this section. Motor carrier with the examine the form MCS 1 with the property with the corrective action should be taken with the vehicle with the found not in compliance with the requirements of this part. 3 motor carriers must complete with the motor carrier certification action taken with the MCS 141 in accordance with the terms prescribed there on motor carrier with the return forms MCS 41 of the division off the address is indicated with the form MCS 141 within 15 days of the following with the date of the vehicle inspection. Or subpart C, instrumentation, 325.21, scope of the rules, but the rules subpart with the specific of the criteria with the level of measurement of the system which either to make the sound with the level of measurement with the specific in subpart D and subpart E with the part 325.20 with the type of the measurement system, the sound level of the measurement system, either the exceed with the requirement of the American National Standard System, the specification sound level of the meter with approved within the 27th of 1971 issue with the American National Standard Institute throughout the applicable frequency range, either the type 1 sound level of the meter, type 2 sound level of the meter, type S sound level of the meter, which has a waving frequency response, fast dynamic character of the indicating an instrument of the relative of the response level of the tolerance consistent with the type of the 1 and 2 sound level of the meter with the science as well with the section 32 ANSI S14 1971. 325 calibration and measurement. The A1 with the sound level of the measurement must be calibrated properly with the adjust one with the frequency with the range of the 25 to 1000 Hz beginning with each visit with the measurement at intervals of 5 to 15 minutes thereafter until it has been determined that sound level of the measurement system is not significantly drifted from the calibrated level of once. The fact has been established with the calibration made with the interval to once with every hour. The significant drift over the considerable the half of the curve with the 3/10 of the decibel with one more excursion is noted with the system predetermined reference for the calibration system with the calibrated level of the system display with the whole decibel increment of the operator the visual judgment of 3/10 of the decibel drift that has been met with exceeded. The sound level of the measurement system that must be checked with the periodically manufacturer represented with the manufacturer personnel with equivalent special compounds with the verify with the accuracy made with the manufacturer design criteria. An acoustical calibrator microphone coupler type of the designer of sound level of the measurement system shall be used to calibrate the sound measurement system according to the paragraph A of the section. Calibration must meet with exceed the accuracy requirements specified in the 541 of the American National Standard Institute method of measurement, the sound pressure level of the and for the field method of measurement. Alright, 325.27, the use of the windscreen. Properly install the windscreen with the type of the recommended the manufacturer's sound level of measurement should be used during the time of the noise emission measurements are being taken. Subpart D, measurement of the noise emission for the highway operation. 325.31, scope of the rules of the subpart. The rules of subpart specify the condition of the perceived of the measurement of the sound level generated by the motor vehicle to engage with the highway operation for the purpose of the exertion with the motor vehicle conform with the standard of the highway operation set forth in Title 40 CFR 220. 202.20. 325.3. Site character for the highway operation measurement should be made with the test site with adjacent activity include with the portion with the travel lane with the public highway with the microphone target with the point with the shall be established with the center line with the travel lane over the highway with the microphone location point shall be established over the ground surface not less than 31 feet over the more than 83 feet from the microphone target point on the line with the perpendicular to the sight line. Center lane travel lane over the highway with the pass through the microphone target plane with the case to stand with the test site with the microphone location is 50 feet from the microphone target point within the test site with the triangular measurement area with the plan view of the diagram standard test having open with the site with the 50 foot with the radius of the bowl of the microphone target point with the microphone location is shown in figure 1 measurement of the made the test having smaller greater dimension in accordance with the rules on the subpart F of this paragraph. Show the measurement area 50 foot radius of the microphone target point with the central line traveling lane with the head with the 50 foot radius microphone location point. The test site must be either the open site with a sensibly free with a large or sound reflecting object with a height with the following objection within the test site with include with the triangular measurement area. Small cylindrical objects should have fire hydrants and telephones and utility poles, rural mailboxes, traffic railings, any type of the construction except for the solid concrete barrier with one or more of the curbs have the vertical height of the 1 foot or less of the following objects made within the test site with the outside of the triangular measurement area of the site and vertical surface with the stress of the billboard regardless of the size having the lower edge of more than 15 feet with the higher than surface of the travel lane with the highway. Uniform smooth sloping surface landing away from the highway with the such of the rise of the grade along with the highway with a slope less than 45 degrees above the horizontal line. Surface landing away from the highway with that is 45 degrees or no more than 90 degrees above the horizontal with all the points surface more than 15 feet above the surface of the travel lane of the highway. Surface of the ground within the measurement area with the relevant flat with the site with a be soft test site with however the site would be determined however the correct manufacturer specified in 325.75A with the parts shall be applied with the measurement. The travel lane with the highway with the test site with the maybe drive then paved with the relatively smooth with the concrete with the asphalt was substantially free with the holes over the other defects wood cover the motor vehicle the emit irregular tire body chassis impact noise loose material such as the gravel chain with the travel lane with the highway the which with the highway was situated not pass through the tunnel underpath located within 200 feet over on that point. 325, 35 ambient conditions highway operations sound with the ambient A way to the sound level of the microphone location measure for the absence of measure the absent motor vehicle with the noise emitting with a clear zone with a fast meter. Response chief with the sound level of the measurement system conforms. Oh, fuck me. Alright, pause tape. Our response to sound level of the measurement with the conform with the rules 325 to 23 with the measurement aiming to level of 10 decibels or more below the level specified in 325 to 7 of the table for the corresponding to the maximum permissible sound level reading applicable to the test type at the time of the testing wind velocity for the test measure for the beginning of each for the series of the noise of the measurement interval for the 5 to 15 minutes for the thereafter with the established with the wind velocity essentially constant one of the fact that it established with the wind velocity the measurement of the may be minute intervals once every hour with the noise measurement may only be made with the measured wind velocity 12 miles per hour or less. Gust winds measurement up to 20 miles are allowed. Precipitation measurements are prohibited under any condition of the precipitation. However, the measurement may be the snow of the ground surface of the measurement or most of the freestanding water. 325.37 the location, operation, sound level of the measurement system, highway operation, microphone, sound level of the measurements conform with the rule 325.23. And the part shall be located with a height not less than 2 feet, with more than 6 feet, with above the plane with the roadway surface not less than 3.5 feet above the surface of the width for the microphone stand. With the preferred microphone height of the flat terrain is 4 feet. When the sound level of the measurement is the handheld, otherwise measured with the home person located with them near the microphone holder must be orientated to him or herself relative to the highway with the manner consistent with the recommendation manufactured for the sound level of the measurement system. And if no case of the holder or the observer the closure within 2 feet from the system microphone, nor shall be located with his or himself between the microphone with the vehicle beginning measure the microphone sound level of the measurement system shall be oriented with the travel lane with the highway with the traffic microphone target point with the angle with the consistent with the recommendation system manufacturer. The manufacturer of the system does not recommend an angle of orientation of its microphone should be orientated for the highway with the angle not less than 70 degrees or more than the perpendicular horizontal plane travel lane with the highway with the microphone target point. Sound level of the measurement system should be set with the A-weight network with the fast meter with the response mode. 325.39 when the measurement procedure for the highway operation according to the rules subpart of the measurement shall be made with the sound level generated with the motor vehicle operating through the measurement area with the travel lane with the highway within the test site with the regardless of the highway grade with the load with the acceleration with the deceleration sound level generated by the motor vehicle the highest reading of the reserve with the sound level of the measurement system of the vehicle passed through the measurement area corrected with the appropriate in accordance with the rules subpart F with the part of the table 1 325.7 with the range maximum permissible sound level the readings various test conditions. The sound level of the vehicle being measured must be observed with at least 6 decibels before the maximum sound level to occur, with the fall of at least 6 decibels after the maximum sound level in order to consider the valid sound level reading. Or subpart E, measuring in a noise emission stationary test. 325 to 51, scope of the rules of the subpart. The rules of the subpart specify the condition perceived the measurement of the sound level generated by a vehicle with the vehicle engine with the rapidly accelerated with the idle governing speed with the wide open throttle with the vehicle stationary transmission, neutral and clutch engine gauge. Purpose assertion whether the motor vehicle conform with the standard operating under the stationary test of Title 40 CFR 20221. The rules of the subpart apply with the operating of the motor vehicle that is equipped with engine speed governor of the test. Conduct within accordance with the rules in subpart made either on the side of the vehicle. Alright, 325 to 53, site characteristic stationary test of the motor vehicle. The test shall be parked with the test site with the microphone target point with established from the ground surface to the side with the center line with the in which the motor vehicle is parked at the point within 3 feet of the longitudinal position. Vehicle exhaust system outlet with the microphone location pointed established on the ground surface not less than 31 feet with no more than 83 feet from the microphone target test point with the test site with a triangular measurement area with a plan diagram with the standard test site having an open site with a 50-foot radius both of the microphone target and the microphone location point shown in figure 2. Or a measurement may be made with the test site having a small degree of the dimension with according with the rules of subpart F. The part of the test site must be open and with essentially free of the large sound reflecting objects. However, the following object within the test site include with the triangular measurement of the small cylindrical objects such as the higher hydrant, telephone, utility poles, roll of mailboxes, traffic railings. Any type of the construction except for the solid concrete barriers, one or more of the curbs, height of 1 foot or less. Following objects may be made within the test site of the outside of the triangular measurement area of the site. The vertical surface regardless of the side of the billboard having the lower edge with more than 15 feet with above the ground. The uniform and the smooth surface slanting away from the vehicle with is less than 45 degrees with the horizontal. Any surface slanting away from the vehicle that is 45 degrees or more, not more than 90 degrees above the horizontal. All points of the surface are more than 15 feet above the surface of the ground with the test on the site with the surface of the ground with the measurement area with the relevant flat with the site with the shall be hard side with the however if it determined it's soft. The correction factor should be 325/75B. Alright, this part shall be applied to the measurement. 325/55 ambient condition stationary test. Sound. The ambient A weight of the sound level of the microphone location point with the measure for the amps of the motor vehicle noise and emanating with within the clear zone with the fast meter with the response with the sound level of the measurement system with conform with the rules 325/23. Measurement ambient level of 10 decibels or more below the level specified 325 of the table of the one with the corresponding with the maximum permissible sound level reading applicable to the test site with the time and testing. Wind. The wind velocity of the test site measured with the beginning with each of the series with the noise measured for the intervals of 5 to 15 minutes thereafter until the establishment of the wind velocity essential constant with the one factor that the established velocity measurement must be made with the intervals of once every hour. Noise measurements only made with the measured wind with the velocity of 12 miles an hour or less with the gust winds up to 20 miles an hour are allowed. Precipitation measurements are prohibited with any of the condition precipitation. However, the measurement may be noted in snow on the ground with the ground within the measurement it must be free of standing water. Or 325/57, location operation sound level of the measurement system stationary test. The microwave and the microphone sound level of the measurement system with the conform with the rules of 325/23 should be located with the height of not less than 2 feet away, surface not more or less than 3.5 feet above the surface of the microphone stand with the preferred microphone height with a flat terrain of 4 feet. When the sound level of the measurement of the system is handheld with the otherwise monitored with the person located with the nearest microphone, the holder most oriented or himself or herself with the relative of the highway with the manner consistent with the recommendation manufactured with the sound level of the measurement system located with the holder with the river to be closer than 2 feet from the system microphone, nor shall he or she locate him or herself to be between the microphone and even the vehicle being measured. The microphone used with the sound level measuring the system sheet oriented with the toward the vehicle angle with the consistent recommendation system manufacturer. The manufacturer system does not recommend if the angle of the orientation of the microphone of the shall be the orientation of the angle is not less than 70 degrees, no more than perpendicular or horizontal plane test side with the microphone target press point. Sound level of the measurement system shall be with the A weighting network and the fast meter response mode. 325/59 measurement procedure stationary test. In accordance with the rule of this part, measurement should be made with the sound level of the generated stationary motor vehicle is followed with the park motor vehicle with the test site with the specified 325/53 subpart motor vehicle. The combination articulated vehicle park with the combination of the longitudinal center line with the towing of the vehicle with the towed vehicle. The vehicles are in substantial alignment. Turn off auxiliary equipment with which is installed with the motor vehicle with which is designated operated down with the normal condition open up only when the vehicle operating on the speed of the 5 miles an hour or less. Examples of such equipment include cranes, asphalt spread with liquid, slurry plums, auxiliary air compressors, welders, and trash compactors. If the motor vehicle engaged with the radiator fan with is equipped with a clutch with a similar device, they automatically either reduces the rotational speed of the fan with completely disengaged with the fan with the power source. Respond to reduce the engine cooling load of the parking vehicle before testing with the engine running at a higher idle than any other speed with the operator may achieve with a sufficient time, but not more than 10 minutes to use the permit engine radiator fan automatically disengage with the vehicle. The noise emission is measured under stationary test. With the motor vehicle transmission with the neutral with the clutch engaged with the rapidly accelerated with the vehicle with the engine with the idle, the maximum governance speed with the wide open throttle with the return engine throttle speeds at idle. Observe the maximum reading of the sound level of the measurement system during the time procedure specified with the during PD with the section followed. Record the reading if the reading has not been influenced by the extraneous noise source of the motor vehicle operating in adjacent roadways. Or repeat the procedure specified in the paragraph D and E of this section until the first two maximum sound level of readings are within 2 decibels of each other or other recorded. Numerically average of the 2 maximum sound level of readings with appropriate correct average figure in accordance with the rules of subpart F of this part. The average figure corrected with the appropriate containment in accordance with the subpart paragraph F of the section sound level generated with the motor vehicle for the purpose of determining conform with the stationary standard operation under stationary test title 40 CO2 21 table 1 325.7 range maximum permissible sound level reading of the various testing conditions. All right, subpart F, the correction factors, 32, 33, 25, 71 with the rules and subchapter. This part. Rules of subpart with the specify the corrective factors, add with the subtract with the reading of the sound level of the generated motor vehicle with the display with the sound level of the measurement system with the during with the measurement of the motor vehicle sound level of the emissions test site, which is not a standardized site. Purpose of the adding and subtract with the corrective factor with the 2, the equate with the sound level of the reading actually generated with the motor vehicle, 2 with the sound level of the reading and the width with the generated with the measurement of that has been made in standard test. All right, your 325.73 microphone distance correction with the distance between the microphone location point with the microphone target point is other than 50 feet. The maximum observed sound with leading level reading generated by the motor of the vehicle in accordance with 325.39 with the part with the numerical average of the record maximum observed speed with the readings generated by the motor vehicle in accordance with 325.59 and this part with corrected is specified as following table 2. And table 2 distant correction factors. 325.75 ground surface correction factors. The highway operation of the measurement of the made in accordance with the rules of subpart D with the parts of the test site. Part of the test site with a hard corrective factor of the 2 decibels should be subtracted from the maximum observed with the sound level generated with the motor vehicle to determine whether the motor vehicle conformed with the standard highway operation title 40 CFR 202. 20. Standard test. When measurement is made in accordance with the rules of subpart E with the part upon the test site with the self with the correction and factor of the 2 decibels A with the shall be added with the numerical average of the record maximum observed sound level of readings determined in motor vehicle will determine whether the motor vehicle conforms with the standard operation under stationary test of title 40 CFR 202.21. 325.77 the computation of the open site requirements non-standardized site. The distance between the microphone and location point with the microphone target plane with the other 50 feet. Test site must be open within the site with the radius for the both plans view diagram for the non-standard test site for the shown figure 3 and 4 with the figure 3 illustrate the test in which the larger stand with the test site with a base and 60-foot distance between the microphone location point with the microphone target point. For example, the application for the correction factor for the sound level of reading is obtained when it starts with the site figure 4 illustrate the test site with a smaller standardized site with its base on the 35-foot distance between the microphone location point with the microphone target point. For example, if the application for the correction factor for the sound level of reading obtained within the site, and then show the 3 and figure 3 and 4. 325.79 applicate for the correction factor for the 2 correct factors applied by the measurement that apply with the cumulatively the following example to illustrate the application for the corrective factor sound level of the measurement readings. Example 1 highway. Example, highway operations. Assume that the motor vehicle generated with the maximum observe the sound level of the reading of the 86 decibels during the measurement according with the rules of subpart D with this part assume all of the distance between the microphone location of the microphone target point with the 60 feet of the measurement area of the test site with the acoustically hard with the corrective with the sound with the level generated with the motor vehicle will be 85 decibels collective with its valve with example 2. Stationary test assume the motor vehicle generates the maximum sound level of the reading of the average of the 88 decibels during the measurement according with the rules of subpart E with the part this part with assume the distance between the microphone location target with the microphone target point 35 feet with the measurement area of the test site with the acoustically soft with the corrected sound level generated the motor vehicle would be 87 decibels calculated as follows. Uncorrected average readings over the distant correction factor and ground surface correction factor give you the corrected reading. Alright, subpart G, exhaust system and tires, exhaust system of the motor vehicle that does not conform with the vehicle exhaust system inspection requirement of Title 40 CFR 20222 with the Interstate Motor Carrier Noise Emission Standards if the inspection exhaust system of the motor vehicle is disclosed with the system, and then has of the defect with the virtually of the back with the sound reduction exhaust with the gas leak with the alteration, deterioration, muffler elements, small traces of soot with the flexible exhaust pipe with the not constitute the violation of the subpart if the clip of either a muffler of the noise dissipated the device is equipped with the cutout with the bypass similar device unless if the device is designed as exhaust gas driven cargo unloading system. 325.93 tire with except for the provided with the paragraph of the safety motor vehicle that does not conform with the visual tire inspection requirement of Title 40 CFR 20223 with the Interstate Motor Carrier Noise Emission Standard with the inspection aim of the tire of the vehicle with the operating with the scope of the tire tread pattern composed of the primary cavity with the tread of the screw with the stripes and local with the trunking with which are not ventilated with the groove of the tire shoulder circumferential to each of the other around the tire. Paragraph A with the section does not apply with the motor vehicle operating with the tire having tread pattern on type of the specified in the paragraph if the motor carrier was operative with the motor vehicle with the demonstrator with the satisfactory the administrator his or her designee with the eve of the tire did not have the type of the tread pattern which originally manufactured newly manufactured or the sound motor vehicle to generate the maximum sound level of 90 decibels last measured with the standard test site with a highway operation distance of 15.3 meters under the following conditions. The measurement must be made at the time of the place for the under conditions specified. The administrator with his or her design of the motor vehicle must be operated. As some tires are aware of the install with the inspection specified in the paragraph A of the section 3 of the motor vehicle that must be operated with the highway having been posted speed limit more than 35 miles per hour with the sound level. The measurement must be made with the motor vehicle with the operation posted speed limit. And that was